This bird looks like it's been photoshopped, but I promise it's real. The greatest heron in North America. This bird knows how to work its best and weirdest feature, not just for a hearty meal, but also in the quest for love. We're talking, of course, about its long and stunning neck. This hopeless romantic is the great blue heron. Hi, my name is Aranya, and you're watching Animalogic's World of Birds. Today, we're talking about Ardea herodias, otherwise known as the great blue heron. Ardea in Latin stands for heron. Herodias in Greek also stands for heron. This just goes to show that the great blue is truly the heron of all herons. The great blue heron makes catching fish look easy. But as we all know, not everything is as easy as it looks. So if you're struggling in your own life, maybe it's time to try BetterHelp, the sponsor of today's video. BetterHelp is a secure online network that helps to match you up with your own licensed professional therapist. BetterHelp's therapists offer a broad range of expertise, specialties that might not be available where you live. You can log into your account anytime, send a message to your therapist, and get a timely, thoughtful response. You can also schedule weekly video or phone sessions. Say goodbye to uncomfortable waiting rooms. BetterHelp wants to match you with a therapist that works best for you. So switching therapists is easy and free. BetterHelp is also more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and they offer financial aid. So visit betterhelp.com/animalogic. That's BetterHelp, and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of experienced professionals. And for Animalogic fans, get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/animalogic. Because BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. The great blue heron makes most of North America its home. It even resides as far south as Colombia. This species has the ability to adapt to almost any wetland in its range, making itself at home wherever it settles. Vagrants have even braved the Atlantic with sightings as far-flung as the Canary Islands and the Azores and France. In 2007, a great blue heron juvenile was spotted on the Isles of Scilly in the UK. Talk about a long-haul flight. This giraffical bird has several subspecies. Ardea herodias fanini, which lives in the Pacific Northwest. Ardea herodias cognata, which lives in the Galapagos Islands. And Ardea herodias occidentalis, otherwise known as the great white heron, which resides in the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean. Who could blame them for wanting to make a tropical island their forever home? These necky beckies are massive. An average adult is over 1 meter tall, with a wingspan of almost double their height. But despite their size, they're still lightweights at about 2 to 3 kilograms. You were probably born heavier than that. I know I was. That massive wingspan helps them achieve breakneck speeds of over 50 kilometers an hour. When flying, the great blue heron often pulls its neck into a characteristic S shape. This S-curved neck isn't just aesthetically pleasing. It also helps the heron catch its prey. Its neck acts like a spring-loaded weapon to propel its sharp beak towards its target. Herons are incredibly patient hunters, standing motionless, sometimes for minutes on end, to wait for the right moment to strike. The prey of these expert fishers isn't just fish, though. They're also known to eat amphibians, snakes, turtles, insects, small water birds, and even mammals, like chipmunks and muskrats. Although its name makes it sound like it's experiencing a serious bout of depression, it's its size and great beautiful plumage that earns the great blue its name. As adults, these tall drinks of water are covered in slaty blue feathers. They're adorned with a white crown with a black stripe running back from each eye and merging beautifully into long black plumes. The crown and plume make up an erectile crest, which is a naughty-sounding collection of feathers that can stand at attention. But those plumes aren't the only fascinating feathers these great blue herons feature. The great blue has patches of powder down its breast and pelvic region. The heron will nibble on these specialized clusters of feathers, also called pulvy plumes, to turn them into keratin powder. They then spread the powder over other feathers to create a waterproof barrier. Pulvy plumes don't molt, but continue to grow as they are delicately munched off by the heron. Other species like parrots and tinamous also have these waterproofing plumes. If you ever get the chance to stand next to a great blue heron and find yourself sneezing uncontrollably, you might be one of the lucky humans who is allergic to this fine feather dust. Great blue herons were revered for their beautiful blue feathers, especially at the turn of the 20th century, when they were slaughtered en masse to make ladies' hats. These feathers were so prized in the hat-making industry that in 1903, feathers were more expensive than gold per ounce. During this headwear craze, millions of great blues were slaughtered every year. This overhunting was so extreme that legislation was passed to end these kinds of exploitations. Unlike some other bird species, great blue herons display relatively little sexual dimorphism. The only distinct difference between the sexes is that great blue heron males can be slightly different than their female counterparts. Just when you started to think that males are always the pretty ones in the bird kingdom. Instead of fancy feathers, these gangly Romeos have found other ways to show their romantic intentions to their potential mates. They use their long and sexy necks. Most individuals fly solo for the majority of the year, but come together during breeding season to form colonies, also known as heronries. And the heronry is where the magic happens.
There he is.
It was so thin.
Oh, too fast.
At the beginning of the mating season, the males arrive fashionably early at their traditional breeding grounds and scope out and defend their ideal nesting spot high in the trees. They often stake out old nests, sometimes returning to the same grounds for decades at a time. A week later, the ladies swoop in, looking for love. Let the elaborate displays of courtship begin. Males will stretch up their necks with their beaks to the sky. They'll snap their beaks. They'll circle the colony with necks outstretched. They'll make moaning calls. They'll reach their heads up and erect their neck feathers. To the females, I guess the male's long neck is truly his sexiest feature. Courting is a weeks-long process that ends with the male inviting the female into his nest, but only, of course, after some complex ritualistic bill fencing and stick displays. Romance is an intricate game for the great blue herons. But all this action helps the two lovebirds create a bond necessary to raise their offspring as a solid team. Once they've paired off, the male will gather sticks and carefully pass them to the female to place in the nest. They'll line it with moss, pine needles, or grasses, also gathered by the male. They'll take turns incubating their clutch of 2 to 6 pale blue eggs, with the males sitting atop the eggs during the day, and the females taking over for the night shift. Once the eggs hatch, they continue to co-parent until their little ones take flight 2 to 3 months later. Though the fledglings may still stick close to the nest for another 3 weeks or so, with mom and dad still providing the occasional snack. Great blue herons don't mate for life, so before that empty nest syndrome sets in, mom and dad will part ways and this hard-won romance will be officially over. Love is truly a fleeting thing in the world of birds. So what should we talk about next? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe to Animalogic for new episodes every week. Keep soaring to new heights. I'll see you later.